Welcome back to the Jönköping qualifiers. We're heading right into the game. ATOX and Mongols on Ancient, a map where Mongols has found so many good victories versus top teams across these past few months. The question is, can ATOX be the ones to upset the upsetters? Mongols right down middle, over to the A site they go.
We just love fast pistols, it seems, in the Mongolian derby. And so Mongols just getting a lot of that space very quickly towards the A play. Even though there's a lot of players nearby here for ATOX, not in very good positions to actually contest. They're going to have to wait these smokes.
Zesta around the corner is ready to pull the trigger very soon. Flashbang through. He's not blinded by it completely. Mick, however, is. Techno. Quick double kill. It feels like the Mongols have got complete control over this round. ATOX never even stood a chance.
Not the cleanest shooting, I'd say, in this pistol round. A lot of making use of the fact that the Glock has effectively unlimited bullets in a pistol round. And so the Mongols make use of that to great effect, just running down players. They had that flash lined up for when that smoke did fade, because that's what ATOX were waiting for. So some nice decisions being made from the Mongols, especially once they realized they weren't encountering any real resistance on the site, and they had some good post plants. They played forward, and they played and adapted to what ATOX were doing on their own pistol.
Unlimited bullets does sound like a really cringe anime finisher move. Like, unlimited bullets!
I feel like you could only be able to really sell that with the dualies, you know?
Yeah. So someone makes a Counter-Strike anime, I just think they're like over-exaggerated voice line saying that. Well, listen, that's a good gun back home. Really also known for its unlimited bullets, but not actually pissing anyone off.
They do nab the Mac-10, but they did also have a Galil, so it'll be nice if Mick gets his hands on that. Hopefully it's not gone too far out of the way. And yeah, Mick is able to ferry that back. In fact, he even threw away the Galil.
Why?
But
There's literally...
they have rifles on everybody else, not that Mick was aware, and he doesn't even get to hold on to whatever weapon he was going to actually hold. So it's inconsequential, doesn't really matter.
Oh, it's okay.
I think the logic is there's usually 2 SMGs, 3 rifles. They had 4 rifles, 1 SMG. So, you know, trying to play around if that SMG is hunting, it can't get an upgrade. Well, no real SMGs aside the one that Techno has in his possession. Because he wants to go in with pace into this B bomb site, and he'll catch them completely off guard. Throwing util was mixed, so he gave away his position, and dobu fighting out in the open does get 2 before going down. So he's equalized the affair before this bomb gets planted.
My god, that smoke was actually fantastic smoke coming out of the cave, but no bit of pause on that. Zesta's gone down. ATOX will be moving back to try and save the remaining 2 players. That smoke makes it so anyone trying to use shadow advantage that you have. So when the B side players are scaling up past the B side, there's a shadow advantage for the CTs inside cave. They see the shadow first. Blitz does die. That smoke makes it so that shadow advantage is useless. That's really cool.
Very strange. A cool concept for sure. I feel like the shadow casting of the smokes is kind of an underutilized feature thus far. But it doesn't prevent the shadow from being cast.
It doesn't prevent the shadow from being cast, but the issue is
it just pushes them wide enough
to actually just see. So you're gonna go down by the time you see the shadow anyway. Because it's also like a right eye peak with the smoke. The smokes are treated as walls in that situation. So yeah, it's just very cool.
Also, a better way to talk about it, aside from, you know, I was going to justify it as a bit of a miss that still did its job, but by and large. And for all I know,
as you do big brain out things when they're not big brain.
Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact that I've done that before, where a player's like, I actually just missed the smoke. It's like, I talked about all the advantages that your missed smoke seem to have. So,
God, I think one of the most iconic ones, Kabal does end up going down. That's one of the rifles out from Mzinho's hands. Was when Sponge once saw like the the B doors smoke on Dust too. He go with the grenade and secondly, like, oh my god, this is such a good idea to like try and find out if someone's close behind the doors because of blood spills.
Yeah, I just made a mistake actually. Hey, sometimes bad ideas can be good if used right, so.
True.
No such thing as a bad idea.
I wouldn't go that far.
They're definitely, yeah, that's
Mick finds Techno, and there is a gun to be recovered there, as well as Annihilation finding a kill. Now, with this, it's a 2-on-3. You will have money in the next round to be able to put me up. You both got Kevlar. I don't think they'll contest this, and I think that would be the right decision not to, but you could see them justifying it.
Yeah, it's just the fact that they have no kit, and the bomb radius on Ancient is so large that you're basically just, you're saying that you don't want to save these weapons, and it's not worth it. You know, if all they wanted to do was damage the economy, this is a good reason for them to have sent those weapons in, but having an AK on the CT side is nothing to scoff at. You know, there's many situations you find yourself on Ancient where multi-kills are kind of offered up, and the faster you kill somebody, if you land that instant headshot that the AK can deliver, then
yeah,
getting a multi-kill is easier to manage.
I mean, anyone who's been pushing down the ramp to try and be flashed in to go for the fight into the doors or something like it, everyone knows how annoying it is to get a headshot and then die. It's one of the worst feelings in the world.
Yeah, if only they'd have had a 5.7 or an AUG.
Does the AUG still headshot close range?
Yes, yeah, but
Really?
it's basically
Okay.
like one person's body size apart.
Molotov at their feet, but 910 will stand in the flames. He's happy to sacrifice his life for a trade. Annihilation, the one to be in the marketplace for it. Spam damage not really coming through. All it does is waste bullets on Techno's magazine. He's not talking about that, but Mzinho worried about mid-presence, pushes out through a smoke only to be found out and caught out by Clove. Annihilation, second frag comes in, a little bit more prolific this time over when he is called upon and he continues forward, but now Flame underneath his feet still comes through with some good frags, and honestly, we've just got oppers on fire all over the place.
Yeah, great to see Annihilation get engaged with that AWP, but yeah, they were willing to take a few risks, both 910 and Annihilation alike, going blow for blow, but they just couldn't flush Annihilation out of his position. Very strong to sit behind the site like that. That's why, I mean, even when they threw the Molotov, just not expecting Annihilation to stand his ground. But they were confident that nobody was coming in through cave, so life is a lot easier that way. It's the one vulnerability you do feel like you have. Kabal cycling utility as they set up for a boost on elbow, and that'll be a solid nade. So both in one-shot headshot territory. You see a distribution of 50 damage across those two players. Flash good. Dobu other side, round the corner, into Techno locking that position in. Not sure he had a sound cue or spotted Dobu just tucking himself. But he walked into position, and now Kabal punished for investigating through middle, hoping maybe he can get a counter kill onto Techno or catch someone blissfully unaware. But this is looking more and more like the Mongols should be able to bring this one together. But Zesta's found a kill right back, and he's gonna catch Senzu in the corner as well, holding into cave. Back into a 3-on-3 very rapidly. Great effort from Zesta to stabilize.
He's got to go for a little bit more, unfortunately. Seems like his side is the one under attack. 910, hard scopes forward. Zesta only has one job, stay alive and make sure there's no one coming through red room. If they're going for the bomb plant, commit over here. Maybe you can find some spam damage. Annihilation gone though. Zesta won't have any backup coming in, and now he knows he needs to activate. Head almost taken off. Damage dealt is good, but Zesta keeps fighting. Good for another on his own. 2-on-1. The bomb cannot go back. Blitz, you need to commit.
Ooh, that's dangerous though. Mick had to get in front of those flames, and Mzinho able to lock it in. He got past too short, but made noise in doing so, and so Mzinho had a very good read as to where that last man was going to be positioned. The Mongols off to a pretty solid start here on this T side, 5-1, and even though ATOX can reinvest here, they've been a little slow on the uptake in terms of throwing a bit of a spanner in the works. They haven't disrupted any of the defaults. They've very infrequently gone for any sort of aggressive action on this CT side. But trying to fly out through middle was Blitz. And he gets destroyed. So this is a great way to start here if you're ATOX. Even though Zesta had a nice multi-kill to bring them back into that last round, I think it's a lot nicer that ATOX are willing to show a bit of assertion. But that double, oh my. Round that smoke, I didn't think Mzinho saw much of anything, but catches the player sending up through ledge and another playing close. So it's almost like a complete flip. Last time the Mongols found the entries. This time it's ATOX, but both times the opponents have been able to find a multi-kill right back.
And both times ends up in a 3v3. This time, though, side seems to be a little bit less committed to. There's a lot more time for the Mongols to play with, and they will continue to explore down mid. That seems to be their #1 port of call, but no one's actually at the port. There's no ships at the docks. Techno, sound cue given over. He knows it. And with Mick playing nearby, it has been very much received. A Molotov might be giving away their initial plan of trying to go back in towards middle, and with the red room smoke as well deployed, Techno only has to make sure that no one can actually push in on the flank. Mick's generally got good timings with those, though. Speaking of good timings, Mzinho, doesn't really use that Molotov, waits a while longer, forces Zesta out of position, looks for the duel when he's got barely any HP. Techno's not there to help him out either. Zesta, though, taken down late on in the round in Annihilation with a Molotov at his feet. You'll push through, Pope out, Senzu down as well. That's the Annihilation you know and love.
He couldn't have asked for him to hit a better timing. They got that Molotov down towards spawn, and Annihilation just feels like he fears no flames. Runs straight past it, and catches them just as they turn their attention away to Donut. And he knew exactly where all those players were in position. Had a great envisionary of exactly how to play that out. And Annihilation is very quick. You know, that's never been a doubt with his AWPing. His style is conducive to it, the aggression that he likes to put out. We didn't get to see much of it on the Infernos that we've been able to witness. The maps that ATOX have played so far in this qualifier, but it feels like we're getting that Annihilation now.
Hopefully we can see that maintained, even if he is only left over towards A anchoring duties in this round. Hey, if he plays retakes like that, then there you go. Oh, that smoke is on purpose. I believe they've thrown it again, Michael, the cave smoke.
That one seems a bit more in, like, the whole entrance.
Like, in with the kids?
Well, like, it's in cave, but it feels like it covers the whole entrance. I don't know, he might have made a mountain out of a molehill.
Oh. Gotta start somewhere, right? Mountains don't just form themselves. Oh, wait, they might. Deep red room smoke. Zesta's gonna have to put himself somewhat at risk, but he's got an angle to work off of still. No one actually contesting that. Aggression down B ramp being planned, and it's 9-10 to try and intercept, but he's intercepted nothing but bullets in his head. Dobu traded, Techno only good for the one, and the double peek on the other side. Kabal's got some jumping players to deal with. Mick as well is here to boogie. It's like a clown card. They just keep on coming out. More and more CTs. Finally, they retreat backwards, and Mzinho in the 1-on-3. Known for its clutches at the major, but a bit too much to ask for over here.
Yeah, I mean, a double swing that was being lined up there from ATOX as soon as they knew where Mzinho was last seen. Zesta just linking up with his teammate on the bomb site to secure the round. A great decision there from ATOX to get aggressive down that ramp, catching the Mongols players out, especially as they were just about to set up with heavy presence and numbers towards cave. Catches them in that transition. Things getting a little weird. You know, I do appreciate when there is aggression, but, you know, both these teams have been able to capitalize on each other's timings. And I asked for ATOX to be a bit disruptive. Finally, we get to see it. I didn't even think about the idea that, you know, Senzu is a very sort of new-gen player, and it's not like Annihilation has been around for, you know, decades, for example. But, you know, when you saw Senzu AWPing on some of his previous teams, it did feel like he was, you know, maybe a little inspired, seeing the way that Annihilation played.
It does feel like that is every young man's style of AWPing in general, though.
That is true. You know, just as easily could have been like Dan King that inspired him, because, you know, it's both very unhinged offers.
I guess, or, you know, Walksick or Monacy or any of the people you probably have grown up watching.
It is different seeing somebody that, you know, from your country or region that is doing that kind of playstyle, though.
That is true. That is true. No doubt about it. Flashes, nades, it's the works, and Mongols are avoiding most of them. Let's the only one who's actually tagged down by them early on, but ATOX once again forward facing, and dobu's facing into a nade. You're not playing football, buddy. You don't get extra points for headers. That's not how football works, is it?
Well, the spam worked out for ATOX, because Senzu spammed, and he took a lot of damage in response. In fact, it'll be a nade that finishes him off. He sat on 5 HP, so that nade's enough to do much. Annihilation, killing off healthy players with that big green, only needs to hit the body.
Oh god. Well. Blitz ends up falling as well, and it feels like Mongols haven't really had any fair fight so far, other than the peek into Annihilation. But honestly, is that fair? Rifle into up, Zesta takes on Mzinho as well. ATOX bringing it all the way back to 5-5, and this is giving me good reminders of, you know, good old ATOX with Yami as well on this map in particular. They were really, really, really good on Ancient. And it always felt like that cave presence that Yami provided was such an important part of it. Now, you know, you're seeing Annihilation and Mick switch in and out of that, and it's fun to see.
Mm-hmm. It's nice that it feels like people are engaged here on ATOX. Again, a very limp opening to this qualifier, but if they can put up a good performance against the Mongols, you know, the team to beat within the Asian region, then confidence can start to be raised. But these are these low buy rounds that you were kind of talking about before. The Mongols do feel like they get away with murder on rounds like these, and hopefully, for the ATOX sake, it doesn't happen to them here and now. Annihilation funneled back and missing shots on that AWP. Blitz fighting him out in the open, but he's finally finished off by Techno. A plant that can be secured, but the rifle that was recovered, trying his best to disrupt, but they're all running out of ammo everywhere, and Blitz has gotten a knife kill through the smoke, but dobu able to stabilize things right back. It is messy, it is chaotic, but ATOX get themselves to 6 via dobu.
Look, if there's ever a time to call a timeout, this might be it.
What?
like,
what kind of
that's just insane. You start off with Annihilation missing far too many shots on the AWP and the USP. Those look like sitters. There aren't flashes to try and force him off the angle. He isn't having to deal with Molotovs. This is as typical device-esque AWPing situation as you could ever ask for. But just unfortunately misses them. Then you've got Smokes down. You've got an ATOX player swinging out from CT and getting 1 kill, but then being 9. It's just insanity. And now the question is there going to be any semblance of order, or will chaos reign? And meanwhile, is being rained down on with spam. MIQ is down. Now with Annihilation locked out of cave where he's got a smoke behind him. Dobu had to step up. Instead, he's forced out of the server. Flash in Kabal's face. Molotov's behind him. He's in and he's committed. 9-10 takes his head off for it. Only Annihilation left. And he continues to just be smoked out of cave, mollied out of here, smoked out again. There's more smokes available. Annihilation, I'm sorry, buddy. This isn't going to be a fair fight for you.
Blitz might just even hammer it home. He's right behind him, and he thought about playing with his food. It's an equal scoreline, 6-6 at the half. We'll see how the second goes after a break.
back then in the neighborhood. And higher we fly, admire the beautiful things you do. And higher we fly, desire these moments just with you. With you, with you, with you, with you, oh, with you, with you, with you, oh, with you, with you, with you, oh, yeah. It never felt so right with you. I'm gonna hold on to you, hold on. Hope you feel the same way too. I'm gonna hold on to you, hold on. It never felt so right with you. I'm gonna hold on to you, hold on. Hope you feel the same way too. I'm gonna hold on to you, hold on.
Even Steven, but will Steven stay even is the question. I wish I could have been creative enough to continue on with more rhymes, but I'm not.
It's okay.
ATOX and Mongols, however, are the ones with creativity.
And all ATOX need to do is don't stop believing.
There you go. God, I wish I gave you that handoff faster.
Already a map down. And this is the last life that they have. We sit in the lower bracket. The Mongols in the lower bracket? How on earth did that happen? Well, an unexpected...
That's a tale the Sith won't tell you.
Yeah. An unexpected casualty. But ATOX seem to be the ones that required the ambulance. Mzinho shooting straight through that smoke. Kabal dropped instantly, and he didn't have a chance.
Well, 9-10 in the meanwhile, just flooring, folks. This man needs to be a DJ. In the meanwhile, Zesta needs to be alive, and he will be very soon.
But no, not in that round, unfortunately. Oh, didn't even really feel like ATOX had much fight in them in that round. You know, entering, sort of exiting out of that first half with the chaos that ensued, whether it was dobu's, I mean, almost heartache of losing a wild round to upgraded pistols, and then, you know, just a total domination from the Mongols towards the end of the half. Things got very chaotic. So, in a way, I'm kind of hoping ATOX have a little bit of that same spark to them on this T side. Because if the Mongols look comfortable, I mean, they are. I feel like I need to see the visible discomfort on them before we can start to see this ancient fall away.
Let's see if let's squirm, man. Flashbang ends up blinding Zesta. That's not ideal, but neither is 9-10 using all of his bullets before he's even got someone to fire at. Regardless, dobu meanwhile lurking down in middle. Techno's caught out as well, and the force buys that give Mongols so much might be taking away from them. Not if Mzinho, however, has anything to say about it. Now only Mick left inside the site. He's gonna smoke for a while, but this cloak of invisibility will fall soon. Question is he the boy that lived? Or will he be taken down? But with Mzinho sticking out the defuse, will it even matter? Mick, good for the one. Mzinho still holding on, but it will not matter. Mick comes up big with a triple. Harry Potter who?
What? That's so outrageous. I mean, one of the players was low HP, but Mick hit every headshot. And by the time he's dealt with the first two, the last one's sticking that defuse, and it is it's simple pickings. The worst part is that they knew where he was for the entirety of that 1 versus 3. It's not like they didn't know what to expect. Mick has given them an absolute saving grace, and a way that they can maybe even save some face here in this series. Annihilation with that stolen M4 sparking first, but these lower by weapons are going to have some difficulties on these longer ranged fights. It almost needed to see the Mongols get a little bit more territory for themselves. Oh my but they didn't clear it.
No, not... this is how dobu just got the frag in the previous round. Guys, come on. This is a disaster. Guns have been recovered. Kugalil's Techno jumping in. He knows he needs to take the fight through dobu. Cannot wait for it to come to him. 9-10 in the meanwhile. Brought down low. Almost out completely. Blitz is the one who swings out. Dobu is here to play defense. And defend he does.
And everybody dies the exact same way for the Mongols. One after another, they all tried to run straight through that deep CT smoke. And dobu hits an instant headshot as they emerge from it. So, you know, the first one, fine. The second one, shame on you. The third, in fact, doubly shame.
How much shame are we sending? Dude, come on.
I guarantee you, dobu after you hit the first two is like, come on, someone else try it. Try and get past me. I'm not going to miss this shot. And sure enough, he didn't.
Wow. Whew. Zesta. Living up to his name because his fingers are spicy.
Isn't Zest like citric?
Alright. He's toxic, okay? You want me to say that?
No, like acidic, you know, like...
It is. It's
yeah,
true.
like lemons.
Corrosive. And everyone knows something about lemons. He's making lemonade, Michael. That's what he's doing.
Lemons, limes, oranges aren't quite zesty. But zesty is taking on a whole different turn of phrase these days. ATOX have shown a little bit more ferocity. You know, I think the fact they're able to get away with that mid-clutch is going to do a lot for their confidence and reinvigorate them for the remainder of this map. It's going to put Mongols in a bit of a trying situation. They sit on the back foot, and you see them clamoring in for a buy, but they're light on utility. They don't have an AWP out, so they try and get aggressive. A 1-for-1 Cabal will take. But that's your extremities player on the A side that's been dealt with. So ATOX may feel like they kind of have to commit to either something through mid or towards this B bomb site instead. But they'll be on a timer. They don't know for certain that Mzinho would have fallen back from his spot, and initially he did, but now investigating to see if anyone on ATOX takes up the responsibilities that Cabal held.
How long can you face into the flashbang? Techno still does avoid it, so fair fight for him, and he shows what he can do when he's given one. Oh no, Mzinho, got to be careful, buddy. Jumps up, almost has his head taken down, instead it's his teammate that falls, and Mick can continue to delay Mzinho backwards, but no. The smoke actually ends up favoring him. He's not pushing through, but Mick's going to be completely occupied thinking about it, and that gives 9-10 space in the bomb site to try and make a play. And make a play he will. Remember, that flashbang that Mzinho has could be used to delay them for a while longer. All he has to do is stay alive right now. Just make sure he get one kill, maybe two. No, not the double. But with 20 seconds, they've got no choice but to gun it for A. And as Senzu rotates into red room, he'll have information sooner rather than later. Deep flashbang, Annihilation uses it to get a good angle. But can he get the shot? No, he can't. Senzu wide swings out and gets both. ATOX cannot extend to double digits.
That felt like it had to be a must-hit shot there from Annihilation. His teammate planted. That flash was beautiful. You know, stopped Senzu from actually clambering onto the bomb site before the ATOX members were ready, but that missed shot from Annihilation could come back to haunt them. They will have enough money for another buy here on the side of ATOX, but after this, that well should dry up. Could allow the Mongols to take a handle back on this game. Because the idea was great. You know, in that 3-on-3, ATOX even just sending out a sacrificial lamb, those trades were favorable. Aside from that, they basically had no alternative. Moving to that B bomb site was heavily stacked. Zesta's burning, and he tried to find space between the flames, only to get burned, I think, by both of them.
Oh, Senzu, be careful. You could be caught over here with the smoke in your hand. That's exactly what happens. Now Techno's left lonely. Flashbang won't help either. Mick can kill him with his eyes closed. If seen enough evidence of that. Annihilation's also given them good information about the fact that there are 2 players going back into cave, and now with Blitz getting to know what it felt like to be Annihilation earlier on with utility in his face all over the place. It's gonna be great. Mongol's still committed to this retake, so it seems finally retreating backwards and deciding against it, but that's where Annihilation will be looking to cover them off. Great frags found. Mzinho is the only one who can keep himself alive.
Man, I love that from ATOX. I love how much utility they're willing to expend just throwing that into cave. You know, they have deeper control to that CT rotate. They realize as well Annihilation is still holding the entirety of the flank, but there was a timing that they could have gotten access to cave, so they just layer flashes, Molotovs behind the smoke. So even though ATOX should have been maybe concerned about the prospect of the Mongols moving in for a retake, all that util, I mean, it's basically impossible to crack in unless you just jump straight through a smoke and hope that there's not enough players watching the other end of it.
Any stacks? No? God, I do like me some stacks. You know, Michael, I have to try very hard every time I see Zesta's name to not imagine a very Italian chef saying it.
Lacking some zest.
He's been cooking. He is an Italian.
Really nice clean fights for Kabal. I've always felt like Kabal was one of those players that did always feel like, you know, when he's on, I feel like he's probably one of the most efficient bursting players, regardless of what gun he has. You know, SMGs, rather MP9s, you know, Mac 10s. I feel like I've seen him long range burst somebody, regardless of what weapon he's had.
That flashback might actually end up helping out Mzinho. It delays him for longer and he can find the players before they're completely ready for him to actually come through Temple. But look at this, the rotation out from Mick, and Senzu's changed his mind. He has to go back up Cheetah. He knows what the call is. He knows the bomb's being planted over towards B, but the fact that the matter is he has to play so slowly. He's shift walking all the way through back to cave. He'll have a good timing window, but the question will always be, do you want to wait and play this out in 2v1 and forfeit that advantage you get on your fast rotate?
Yeah, and they don't have a kit either, so the longer they've waited, the less chance they'll have.
This is not a common angle for Mick to take by any stretch of the imagination. They are not thinking about it at all. He's not expecting them to defuse at first in the slightest. They are not clearing out deep cubby. No one is watching for it. Mick is reading this perfectly. Good for the first, better for the second.
How many clutches does Mick have to win? How many 1 versus 3s is needed for them to break this map? A second one drawn to the table, and he played it masterfully. No kit available. Like you said, he called their bluff on that first tap on the bomb. And then he heard a second set of steps, and he had all the confirmation he needed, to know that he had them playing and sitting in the palm of his hand. Damn. Mick in with some big clutches. I could force us to a third map just like that. Because this is the last proper buy the Mongols are going to be able to muster on their CT side.
Yeah. Honestly, didn't feel like ATOX had much of a chance to go into that third map unless they pull together a few of those big antics, and no one but Mick to do it. He's definitely one of the more underrated players in the Mongolian scene. I feel like he's always been on the second best team or so, and he's always been so incredibly good. Now he's hoping to eliminate the very best of his nation from this qualifier. Techno doesn't want to let that happen. Flashbang through overhead. Good flash to prevent Annihilation from finding the kill early on. Get some information as well. Unlikely that that's a completely solo opper. And ATOX have still yet to really gain much map control despite there being only 40 seconds left on the clock. Techno holding down an angle which is very hard to deal with. Dobu's Molotov will not flash him out, but he does spot him on the jump. And Techno's got the win, but not the second. Mick takes him down. There's still 3 players on this B-bomb site ready for a play to be made, but Annihilation has got his set for A. Mick even gets one on the fadeaway.
9-10. Defending this A bomb site and finding the first. Annihilation's AWP doesn't quite strike, and even while flashed, that swap out to the rifle completely justified. 2-on-2, and that bomb still needs to get planted. Mick has to be able to the one to punch those digits, and Mzinho knows he has a sitting duck, a captive audience, and he had to find that frag. Had to win on eliminations, but Mzinho ties it all together. 25 kills for the young buck of the Mongols, and he delivers them a 9th round.
Bruh. Mzinho on Ancient is honestly just a different player. He's got such a good read on the timings. He's got such a good read on the angles. It felt like he was destined to die there. The fact that he finds all 3 kills is genuinely just insane.
Yeah, they thought 9-10 was the problem, but then Mzinho came in right behind him.
And again, a round where Mick does so much, but unfortunately the clock is what ends up working out against him there as well. Techno now fully aggressive through with an MP9, gets all the map control, and as Dobu's trying to retake it, will get the frag, but is he ready for the second man? Around the corner comes 9-10, hard scope forward, Dobu's a dead man, and he doesn't really have any friends either. 9-10 is happy to lose most of his life in the retreat. Senzu, trigger discipline's good, almost lets go of it, and Annihilation will trade. As he tries to back off, Annihilation gets a second. 9-10, over aggressing. Mongols are feeling the strain.
That's a great read from Annihilation. Found that first and was so ready for the 9-10 to have repositioned like that, but that's a pivotal fight. That could have allowed access to the A bomb site, but just like that, the script has flipped. That man advantage that ATOX had for just a moment now subsided. It's Kabal in the clutch this time over.
They're not going to have the timing of this. They don't know this can happen right now. Blitz just vacated mid. They're not expecting it unless Mzinho checks right on the sliver of it. Like a teammate might have actually called it out for him or something of the sort. Now he definitely knows. Kabal, low, Mzinho, patient, and he's faded away. He's got no reason to contest this at all. He can play from inside the side and have a million angles to fight. Perfectly played again.
Yeah, now he's going to a bomb site where he has no time to clear anything. And so Blitz should just swing, and he'll catch him trying to punch in those digits. If not for the, honestly, veteran level play there from Mzinho. As soon as he recognized the possibility of what could happen, he played his position perfect. He didn't give Kabal the fight he wanted. Alright, Mzinho is a different man on Ancient. And now it's ATOX under a bit of economic scrutiny. Sure, they have that 1-round advantage, but when they come in with Glocks and a single P250, that advantage should be lost right here and now.
You'd expect so, but
we haven't had any Glocks rounds so far.
Yeah, it feels like this one's not going to be any different. Okay. Well, will 9-10 have an op in the next round? Maybe if Senzu drops one for him, but then you ideally want Senzu to get a kill or 2 over here. So if Senzu gets 1 or 2 kills, he can probably buy some util for himself as well. So you could have an op. You know, you could have the op in the all-important swing ground that's about to follow through.
Well, didn't it just happen to Kabal the last round?
Nah, it was me.
Well, somebody should have told him.
Try and check the corners. Okay, so Senzu's now on 5350. That gives him enough to buy a smoke, a flak, and an AWP if he wants to drop for the 9-10.
Well, there's no ops for anybody, in fact.
Okay. 1 round to rule them all, 1 round to find them. The question is, who will be bound in the darkness of Ancient? No early mid smoke sent out either. It feels like it's going to be a B play again with a couple of Molotovs down mid to be the predominant force. They actually want to contest with a late nade as well. This is interesting to see. The nade doesn't go all the way through, so damage not quite as juicy as it could be. Blitz. Spam is going to show presence, but they faked out a B lane take. It's not been bit into. Dobu's ready, and Dobu's actually looking to maybe even phase past the smoke. He heard Techno going for the reload. Flashbang in. Blitz will find Mick, but not actually get the kill. Only get good damage. Keep an eye out for Techno. He will be the linchpin of this round. If he goes down, then ATOX has a lot of map control to work with, and Mzinho realizes it. He's trying to reinforce by going back down mid late round, but he only ends up falling.
Now they're just so weakened up, and so these fights are just get easier and easier for Blitz. Just kept fighting out in the open. Full access to that bomb, and should anticipate where Kabal is coming in from. Only so many options. The flash from Techno makes that fight a little awkward. Should have been a guaranteed trade with the timing Kabal hit. But now they know for certain that he's got to make his way out. A Molotov down to that last known position, and 9-10 will punch it in. They get to 12 first. They'll have the edge, and the money ain't great for ATOX. They're going to have to come in with Galils, SMGs, you know, anything that can allow them to have some utility. And they might have to just run in with pace if they decide to go the route of SMGs.
I wonder if they just go for a fast A call. It's something that they have relied on before as well. It's something that honestly TheMongolz really popularized as well. But no, it's going to be quickly back over towards the B side. It's all 5 over. It's a classic. And Mongols who are worried about the A side have reinforced it. They might be regretting it soon. Senzu, great Molotov. It's going to be splitting up the players into 2 different lots, but the first has already come through and they are deadly. Techno is blind. Techno is blind. Blitz as well, now being run down, has got an onslaught to deal with. Moves fast, right into B he goes. And as Mick recovers from his own blindness, we'll be able to find yet another frag. Mick with 3 so far is doing it all on his own, but will have to fall eventually. Surely he can't keep it going. 9-10 rounds a corner. Another one is still here. Kabal versus Mzinho. A duel he has already lost out on once before, but with the bomb on the ground, it feels like it is destined to be once again. Mzinho all alone picks out, and it's a tap to close. Mongols will proceed forward in that lower bracket.
Oh, that is so heartbreaking. They get all the space, the entries they were hunting for, the flashes were perfect from ATOX, but if not for Blitz getting those kills back, the bomb being dropped towards that short side, you know, there could have been a way that could have pulled together for ATOX to force the overtime. Honestly, hearts out to ATOX. They had a hard run of the draw.